Thanks everybody for joining us today. We're really excited about having you all here today. We're going to be talking about how you're going to protect your business from supply chain disruptions. It's obviously been a really hot topic over the past 12 months, and unfortunately it's getting hotter. We're going to go through our 5 top recommendations here. And in addition to that, we have an amazing offer that's exclusive to the participants of this webinar. And we're going to share that later in the webinar. It's worth thousands of dollars, this offer of power supply savings. So please stay tuned. I think you're going to be really excited about it. So before we begin, I want to introduce myself. I'm Stephen Lagomarsino. I'm president here at TRC Electronics, and I've been in the electronics industry specializing in power supplies for 25 years now.
And I'm Melissa Sherman. I'm the Senior Vice President here at TRC Electronics, and I've been in the electronic industry exclusively to power supplies for over 18 years.
All right, Melissa, you ready to get this started?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go here. Okay, so let's start off here with the first tip here in terms of minimizing the impact of supply chain disruptions and protecting your business. Good.
All right. So number one is communication is key. And in the electronic manufacturing industry, specifically with power supplies, there's several phases of a product development cycle. It first starts with a concept, then research, design, prototype, safety evaluation, and then production. Now, traditionally, here at TRC, we've began our relationships with client in that design cycle. I'm actually going to walk you through that here, what we do at TRC and how we communicate with our clients. So in the design, now traditionally here at TRC, we've began our relationships with client in that design cycle. I'm actually going to walk you through that here, what we do at TRC and how we communicate with our clients. So in the design, we're, again, traditionally talking with engineers, electrical engineers. And in that design cycle, this is where they really need to focus in on the product that they require, specifically for their machine, device, whatever it is that they're manufacturing, requiring that power supply. So what we do, we start with the basics. What input voltage are they working with? What are the output voltages that they require? How much power do they need? And really specifically, what's the load that they're powering? And the more that we can understand about those basic requirements, we can start getting them on the right product. We'll also discuss and communicate and learn about their mechanical specifications. Do they have restrictions on where they're going to fit this particular product into? And do they have any environmental conditions that we should consider? Is it going in a damp location, a dusty location? Are there low temperatures, high temperatures? And are there specific features and functions that they would require on that power supply in order to work in their system?
Yeah, and I think also, Melissa, you could talk a little bit about when we learn what type of application, what type of industry they're working in, where we can really start identifying safety and compliance requirements for their product as well, right?
Yeah, you got that, because every different industry requires specific safety requirements. And when we help select that power supply solution in that design cycle and push them, they go into prototype selection. Those safety and compliance will be really important when they bring their product to that next phase, which is safety and evaluation. And the resources that we have here, we're able to communicate with those clients if they have any challenges when they're in that particular cycle. If they're at UL, TUV, here at TRC, we're able to provide them with documentation fast. Our electrical engineers will get right on the line and will communicate with their safety teams so we can make sure that they can go through that really quickly and efficiently. And we're talking about the product, but what also is important are the demands of that client's needs for the project. What are their timelines? When they're in design, they need to prototype it, go to safety. How long is that going to take? When will they need product in-house to do a pilot run? And even more importantly, so they can get their product to the marketplace when they're going to go into production, when they're going to need that particular product.
Right. So right now, it's really critical that you're communicating what your needs are going to be, but also when they're going to be needed, and what type of quantities you're going to be requiring at different stages of your project well into production. Because you could get on the wrong product. The product might be a right fit for you electrically, mechanically, and in terms of features and functions and safety and compliance. But if you're not communicating early when you're going to need deliveries, you can find out late. And especially if you made the selection on your own and you didn't get any guidance, you can find out before it's too late that I'm not going to be able to get the product that I need when I need it. So I think one of the important facts here is communication is so important right now, and you need to communicate with your distributor early. You need to be clear with what your needs are, and you need to be having those conversations, and you need to be working with a distributor that's going to be making themselves available to have those conversations, and also be able to add value in those conversations and be able to make the right suggestions, especially when you get into production, right?
Communication, super important in all stages of that cycle. And even when you're in production, historically, buyers, procurement would send purchase orders, product would be available in a few weeks, but that's not the case anymore. And what's happening, we're hearing from lots of clients working with other suppliers, there's a breakdown in that communication and it's being exposed. They're not getting communication when product's going to be available, what the lead times are in the future. And that communication going back and forth through engineering and procurement and your distributor is definitely critical. I want to mention when you are working with a distributor, especially like TRC, they're going to ask a lot of questions so we can learn really what's important, not just the product, but when you need it and what is most important to you for your success. And you should avoid distributors that ask questions, what's your target price? Send me your bill of materials, because you really want to dig in and work with a distributor that is going to communicate and find out what you need.
Right. So a lot of distributors are letting their clients down, and they're coming to us because they're looking for an alternative solution and looking for help. And I just think what you want to do is have those conversations with your distributors early. It's not like it's traditionally been where you're ready to place a PO and, hey, if it's not in stock at one of the several distributors, I know I can get it in a month or two. This is a totally different environment right now in the market. And this is an environment where you've got to be communicating and be proactive with those communications and make sure that you're working with somebody that can communicate with you in that manner.
Yeah, and Matt, you're online here. You had an example to share with us how a client recently benefited working with TRC. You want to jump on and share?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to share. Yeah, we recently helped a client that was working with another supplier that wasn't communicating the lead times on their existing orders and projects. And the only time that they would hear from this supplier was when their existing orders expired and they wanted to get a new order. And in addition, when the client would reach out to that supplier, it would take days and in fact weeks sometimes just to get a live person to support them. And lastly, they were unaware of the longer lead times from the supply chain disruptions. So they were planning to receive product in a lot sooner than what they thought they could have. And when they started working with them, they weren't able to communicate well in advance what they needed to do to prepare for their business needs. So we were working with them and helped them secure their 2022 to 2023 power needs by getting ahead of the lead time and just clearly communicating that with them. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share that, Melissa.
Thanks, Matt. And that actually brings us into our second topic here is partner with a responsive supplier. So not only communication, right? Communicating back and forth, but partnering with a supplier that's going to respond to your requests.
Right. So when you attempt to communicate with your distributor, you want to be working with somebody that's going to be responsive. Are they going to respond to your needs? Are they going to respond to your requests? Or are they going to make you chase after them? You know, what kind of response time are you going to have from them in terms of checking status of an order, or maybe you need to pull in an order or make some type of adjustments to an order, but you're not getting a response? if you're not working with a responsive distributor, you're going to be severely handicapped today.
Yeah, and the key with that is when you're developing that relationship with that distributor is finding someone that will make themselves available to you. Do you have a contact? Do you have several contacts? Do you have a team at that distributor that is available for you? No matter what requirements you have, are they there to answer your requests coming in? You want to make sure that they're there. Otherwise, communication is impossible at that point.
Yeah, and I think, when the distributor should have a team that's there to support you to succeed. And that team should include different aspects of your needs, such as, of course, customer service and sales, but also engineering. So how responsive are they with your engineering requests? And when you think about power supplies, whether you're in a selection mode or you're implementing the power supply into a new design, you're going to have some problems that are inherent with power supplies from time to time that you couldn't have predicted. Are they going to respond to those technical requests, or are they going to be the type of distributor that just simply redirects you over to the manufacturer of that product? And now you've got to wait in line where they really don't have the bandwidth to provide the type of service that you're looking for. And you're sitting there waiting because you're not really their customer in their eyes, and you're not a high priority, and you're waiting days or weeks to get an answer versus, hey, you work with a responsive distributor that has engineering resources, and within a matter of minutes, I'm on the phone with an electrical engineer that's got expertise in not only power supply products, but also has expertise in these types of applications. And now I'm getting my problem solved almost immediately.
Yeah, so you must have a reliable contact or contact a distributor with a team of problem solvers and someone that not only is going to react and respond, but proactively work with you to build that relationship.
Do we do that here?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's part of our success. We're like so responsive, and we have the resources because we're investing in relationships with our clients, and we're giving them what they need to succeed. Our mission here is to supply businesses in the electronics industry the power to succeed. And we know in order for them to be successful, they need additional engineering resources to leverage, and to be able to solve problems that fall out of their area of expertise. And also they need response, and they need information fast. So they want fast responses, and they want to deal with good people that really truly want to help them. And that's how we attribute a lot of our success to just being so responsive.
I'm glad you brought up people, because what we're hearing, and I'm going to share with you an example shortly, is that distributors out there are moving clients to online shopping, where they're moving their entire account to 100% web.
Yeah, so like we all have online shopping as a distributor. That's just a necessity right now because it provides a level of convenience. But there's a line when you send somebody to a shopping cart for engineering or customer service support because you might not be big enough to be supported by a real person.
Hey, Stephen, Melissa, we got a question. I got a message privately here from the Flow Science team about some specifics. Flow Science, I'm going to unmute you. We would love to know exactly what would you like to know.
That's great.
I should have just got you unmute request there. Did you guys receive it?
Yes, we got it.
Awesome.
We were just wondering, as far as the training that we're doing here, if you're getting into any specific component lead times or details, because a lot of the purchasing stuff and a lot of the information that you're providing, we're kind of already on track with. We've got a handful of orders already set up with TRC.
Great.
As far as more of the component pieces, and is this just about the power supplies and the components getting put together in engineering?
Well, let me see if I can answer your question. So as you know, we focus primarily on power supply products, right?
Yes,
Right.
we have current orders for power supplies from you.
Yep, and I'm familiar with you guys, and we love doing business with you, and we appreciate all the business and the opportunities. But maybe you can clarify the question a little bit.
We've got a lot of problems with getting things and lead times, but we were just trying to figure out if this was going to be geared toward what we're looking into, because we've got about 5 emergencies going on out there. I don't mean to be rude. We're just trying to get a line on the details of the meeting.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think I can help answer your question. So yes, we're 100% power focused here at TRC. So the main component we sell is a power supply. And I think what you're asking is, are we going to get really into specifics of the components and how to pull those particular components in? And the 5 key talking points that we're talking about are how to protect your business. And it's really about who you partner with. And who you develop that relationship with in order to get the product when you need it.
Right. I would ask, so with these other components that you're dealing with, are you getting responses? So we covered a couple points. Are they communicating with you and encouraging you to, identify your needs well in advance, like I know we do? Is that happening with these components that you're having these issues with?
Sometimes we've been changing up vendors to deal with that problem, but I don't want to distract the meeting. If we're, like I said, we're kind of already on board and working with you for the power supply need, and we didn't want to split focus, and we might go ahead and bounce out.
I'll tell you what, this is what I recommend. If it sounds like you have some components that you're having real major problem with. List what they are. Even if we don't sell them, when it's not within our umbrella, we'll help you out and we'll see what we can do to help you improve the situation. So what I would just suggest is that if there's anything that we aren't providing you that you would we could help you with, send it over to us, whoever you have the relationship with here, and we try to definitely help you out with that.
Oh, that's fantastic to know. Yeah, we'll send them over a list.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, we're looking to find out from our clients how we can expand our offering, because we want to expand this service to other different types of components and services that we can offer. So we'd love to hear what you're having trouble finding, because we want to solve your problems, and we're really great at solving power supply problems, but we want to expand that. So we'd love to hear what you're having challenges with, and we're going to look to work and see what we can do to help you out there.
All right, I'll contact him today. Thank you.
All right, awesome.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you. Thanks for joining.
All right. And jumping back into those responses, right? Having a responsive supplier and not moving to the shopping cart experience. Yeah, we love shopping online. But I'm going to give you an example. A couple months back, we had a client who was a regular power supply user for years, working with another supplier. And they went to go place an order, but prior to placing an order with their current supplier, they needed some support. They needed some guidance on what they needed to do in order to get product when they need it. And they were informed that their account was moved to online shopping only, and that any of their questions or anything that they needed, they could find the answers online. And that's where their service was moved to. So they reached out to TRC. We were able to not only solve their problems, answer their questions, we're able to get them the product that they needed when they needed it. In the past couple months, we've supplied them with $25,000 worth of power supplies, and over a year's worth of time, they use about $40,000 worth of power supplies.
And they have a relationship with somebody now.
That's right. And it's going to respond to them and communicate with them, not only when they need something, but we're going to proactively work with them to make sure that they're getting what they need when they want it.
That's great. You want to move on to the next point?
Yes, let's go.
All right, so here we go. Okay, so next part here is next tip. You deserve transparency, right? So, we hear this all the time. Do you find out about a delay in the delivery of your order from your distributor only after the promised delivery date? This is a big problem, right? Does your distributor even notify you of a delay? Do they even proactively notify you that there's going to be a delay? So we see this doesn't happen the way it's supposed to be working here. So Melissa, let's talk a little bit about how we do it.
Yeah, so we have a process here I'm going to bring you in on the back end first. So we have a process of prior to a delay even reaching a client. What our procurement and our accounting teams do here, procurement will first proactively work to identify if there is a solution that we can solve by working with our factories, seeing if there's something that they can do to solve that problem before it even gets to the client. So we've got systems in place that they'll proactively search, and also how they can predict. Our other processes will also predict if there's going to be a delay. And those delays could be for multiple reasons. It could be specifically related to the product, or it could even be a potential accounting delay. So they'll predict through these processes to ensure that there's no credit issues on that account, that when that order is ready to ship, it's ready to go. And our logistics teams are here to get that product out to them right away. And also, they'll predict it way in advance if this particular client, do they need to have their credit limit increased in advance? They're proactively working through and predicting what that client's going to need here in the future to avoid a delay on that aspect.
Yeah, I think so. The point being here, what you need to ask a distributor is, what type of transparency are you going to provide me on my sales order after I place a sales order with you? And if they can't tell you what a documented process is, then they don't have one. And here we have a process, and we stick by the process. We're disciplined to that process, and we're going to notify clients if there's some unforeseen delays, which are just completely unavoidable today. There are going to be delays. It's just minimizing the impact of those delays. That's the strategy here. You just can't entirely eliminate them today. So when you're working with your distributor, you want to ask well, I'm going to place an order with you. I'm going to place a significant investment with you. And I want to know if something were to go wrong, what measures, what automation do you have in place that you're going to notify me? What kind of transparency? And, Melissa, maybe like when it gets to sales, after, all the behind the scenes automation, and then people getting involved trying to solve that problem really fast, but okay, hey, there's going to be a delay that's going to impact this order. What do the salespeople in our organization do and when working with our clients?
Okay, great. So once the sales team is notified that there is a delay, because like you said, sometimes those delays are just unavoidable. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to communicate. We're not going to send an automated response. We're actually going to communicate with our client.
How we're going to communicate?
On the phone.
Right.
Right.
Pick up the phone.
We're going to get on the phone. And the reason that we want to talk on the phone is so we can provide you with that transparency. What is the delay? Why did it happen? And what are we doing here to further support you? Yeah,
because for me, we're also purchasing product. And for me, I get aggravated. You just send an email. There's no explanation. It's just delayed. And now I got to go make the phone call and go find out why there's a delay and get an explanation. Well, why, we're going to have that conversation if we're paying attention to things. So we know our clients deserve that phone call. And we want to have a conversation, give you transparency, provide an explanation so you have some context of why there was a delay, as opposed to, well, look, a lot of purchasing agents have to report to somebody else and say, hey, the reason we have a delay is X, Y, and Z. And I know that because my distributor took the time and called me and explained to me the situation, but they assured me they're working on it, as opposed to the purchasing agent going to their supervisor and saying, I have a delay, but I have no idea. And now they got to go find out.
Yeah, and we share that delay as soon as the sales team's notified. So as soon as the purchasing team identifies that there is a delay and sales knows, we notify the client right away. And this is usually early on. It's not the day your order is going to ship. It's not the day after you expected it to arrive on your dock. We're going to communicate early on as soon as we find out. And that also will help the clients moving, if there's something they need to move around in their production schedule, other components. And just getting back to the process, if we can't reach that client on the first try, we're going to make 3 consecutive attempts, 3 days in a row to communicate over the phone. Now, after the 3rd attempt, we're going to update the system and we are going to send an email with that information and also a call to action for you guys to call us back so we can explain exactly what's going on. But we will make those 3 attempts so we can communicate over the phone.
Yeah, and then once it's delayed, we know it's a high priority in the system. So we have a system where between purchasing, procurement knows that it's high priority. Even the warehouse department, when that arrives, it's going to be identified automatically as high priority. And the sales team also knows it's high priority. So they're monitoring that order to make improvements and make sure that it doesn't slip out any further.
That's right.
So do we have a success story about this?
Yes, we do. Matt.
Yes, my buddy Connor's on here. Connor, if I unmute you, can you share your experience working with us and how we've been fully transparent with you in the lead times? Let's see if I can get him unmuted here.
Can you hear me?
I'm here, Connor. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Connor.
Hi there, guys. Yeah, so we've been buying power supplies from all sorts of different kinds of suppliers for many years, and we were turned on to you guys at TRC by one of our customers, actually. And since joining up and teaming with you guys, Matthew's been fully hands-on and had full transparency with lead times, enabling us to get parts in on time and at least being able to communicate with our customers when the projected lead time, what the lead times are, and when we plan to see product. So the shift over to TRC has been nothing but beneficial for us as at Ram Electronics.
That's great, Connor. Hey, Connor, can you share, how has that impacted you guys? How's that impacted the success for you and your role in the organization and your company overall?
Yeah, I mean, as you've mentioned, and as most of us know, the supply chain has been such a struggle over the past year, but this has enabled us to just have a bit more visibility and fluency in just our operating system. Being able to get in touch with Matthew, he's been nothing but helpful. And a lot of the suppliers and reps that I've dealt with in the past, I can't get on the phone, I can't get a response from. Definitely can't get any updates on lead times or where the product is. And Matthew had sent me a funny video of your guys, one of your associates in the plant, I think one of the plant managers, packing up and shipping us one of our boxes that was able to get us product and make our assemblies for one of our largest customers.
That's great. That's transparency, right?
Yeah, it's great. We appreciate what you guys do for us.
Hey, and we appreciate the opportunity to earn your business, Connor, and we aim to over deliver, buddy.
Thanks, Connor. We appreciate it.
Continued success.
All right.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right. So, hey, well, guys, I promised everybody a special offer. Connor, you might like this. Since you're already buying from us, we've got a special offer here, and I want to share this here with you really quick. So, this is an exclusive offer to the participants, only the participants of the webinar and the participants organization. So if you're not a buyer in your organization, you want to share this offer with your purchasing department. 10% off any new order that is $10,000 or greater off your normal price. We know that we've had such crazy inflationary pressures over the past 12 months, and they are not really easing up a little at all. And we thought that for the participants that took the time to invest with us, we wanted to give something extra here. And so this offer expires in a week on March 3rd, 2022 at 5 p.m. Eastern time. This applies to new orders only. The only catch here is we need to ship this order before the end of the year. And how you can take advantage of this order is simply call into our normal 888-612-9514 telephone number, ask for sales, or call the salesperson that you already have a relationship with, given the promo code here provided, and let them know I want to get this offer here and get an order on the books. And this offer can save a a lot of our clients thousands to tens of thousands of dollars.
And that promo code is POWER10. So that's 10% off of any new order of $10,000 or more.
All right, very exciting. So I hope that you guys take advantage of that. We've never made an offer like that. Don't kill me over here. But I have a feeling we're going to get some good responses from this. So I'm really excited about it. And you know, I've seen the prices increase in the past 12 months like I've never seen in my 25 years in the industry. So this can kind of minimize some of that impact for some of the clients that took the time to spend an hour of your busy afternoon with us today. Okay, Melissa, let's get on to number 4 here, the fourth. All right, solution-oriented suppliers are a must here. So this is really about, you know, do you have a supplier that's really truly thinking about problem solving for you, or are they just simply like, hey, you know what, I can't do anything. You want to have a supplier that's got the right mindset. And Melissa, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that distributor, do they exhaust all possible solutions in order to get you what you need? So solutions are not just the product, right? Also the logistics portion of it. Are they looking for creative ways to find a solution to get you what you need? And there's a couple different ways that we'd like to share here how we're able to do that, and we can help organizations like you benefit from it. First, it starts with the relationships that we have with our manufacturing partners. So with these relationships we fully understand the programs that they offer, the different types of options.
Yeah, and trust me, the programs of these manufacturers can be really complicated, and you've got to really study them and understand them.
And yeah, and the different options that they offer. So when you're understanding those programs and the options, do they have multiple factories? Are there different locations that you can purchase from, you can source from? Do they have different type of expediting options to get the product to you faster or even built faster? Are there partial shipments that are available instead of larger shipments? Is there any way to get partial shipments? And having, with the understanding of those options and working with the manufacturer, you also want your distributor to have a reliable partnership with their logistics carrier, right? To get the product to their warehouse in order to ultimately get it to you. And it takes a lot of creativity to come up with solutions here that are unique to everyone, because everyone's needs are different, depending on your application, the situation that you're in. Very, very critical. And Matt, do we have you want to share a client that's benefited from how we were able to offer a solution?
Absolutely. My dear friend Mike is on here, and I'll mute him. There's 2 mics, so bear with me here to make sure we unmute the right mic. So
we got the mic we've helped, and the mic we're going to help.
We're playing a little mic roulette right now. All right, let's go with this first mic. Let's see, is this the right mic?
Might be.
Which company are you calling from, Mike?
Yes, it's my trend.
Yeah, it says it is. How you doing, Mike?
Goodman. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent.
So, yeah, we actually had recently we encountered a problem. We've been using TDKLM, the power supplies, and they're pretty much lifeblood of most of our devices that we use. They're outside. I mean, they're tabletop power supplies that we assemble in the premises, and all the bricks like the Vigalite of theirs are unavailable right now. So we worked it in order, and then Matt suggested that we try to work together. So they suggested that we use an MP650 from Meanwell, and that power supply actually, by size and by power capability and by the fact of it being modular and configurable, was able to replace what we've been using so far. It also half price of what we've been using so far. And we've successfully tested it with all of our devices. And as of about a week ago, the power supply has been encased and ready for production, and we've placed an order. So that's a success story to me.
Hey, Mike, that's great. I appreciate you sharing today. So when we provided you with an alternate solution, so your lead time went from, on that power supply, went from how many weeks to what?
Well, I mean, we were told that all the TTK lambdas are like a year away.
Right.
And actually TTK came to us and they kind of a little bit coerced us to place an order for extra pieces in order for us to receive anything at all by the end of the year, possibly, not guaranteed. And so eventually when we got the NMP 650, we actually canceled that order successfully. We didn't know for a while we could cancel it or not. The money has been earmarked for that particular purchase. So once we were able to do that, then we placed the order for NMP 650. That will be here sometime in April, and we have enough to last us until then.
That's great.
So that, unlike, because we use like 3 different flavors of TTK lambda. So now this power supply, because of its smaller size and the power capability, it becomes the only power supply that we order. It's the same exact power supply, reconfigured for a series of parallel, configuration of the same exact modules. And so we order just one part number pretty much for all our projects right now. So it's convenient.
That's great. Mike, what would have happened if in the organization, how would that situation would have impacted your organization?
We have no sales. Our flagman devices, which is, we do have small devices that use like tabletop from Meanwhile or whatever. That's not it. But our most popular and most expensive devices like GPX, which is the tabletop splicer for larger type fibers, and the tapers, and the laser kind of splicer, they all use TTK lambda large and large bricks, which is the Vigalite 750. Without them, we would not be able to sell anything, period.
Wow.
And they account for a good 50% of our revenue. So it's not the whole Thermalabs. It's a Vitran division of Thermalabs. I just don't want to give you an impression that it's a whole company. I don't know what their problem is. There were many different divisions. Right. So it's our division. We became Thermalabs in 2015. That would be our situation. We'd be up the proverbial creek without the proverbial pedal.
Well, I'm really excited that you found us and you found a solution, and you're.
Oh, we've been working for a while together.
Okay, good. Yeah.
With DRC, it's not the power supply that really saved DRC right now.
Oh, that's great.
Well, thank you so much for partnering with us, Mike. We really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, excellent. And another example to share here for a client that benefited from relationships that TRC has with the client, the factory, and as well as our logistics carrier. We had a medical OEM and a medical manufacturer who is sourcing and using a very high power medical grade power supply. They actually had a couple hundred power supplies on order with TRC. And there were some decommitments from the factory's component supplier in order to finalize these solutions. Now, it was critical to get this product to the client right away. And through us communicating with the client, providing complete transparency and always being there and helping them to respond to what their requests are, we worked directly with the factory and our logistics carrier to come up with a very creative way of getting product from the factory, drop shipped to them. And we did this, which allowed the client, it saved them several weeks. And they would, if we didn't get the product to them within that time frame, not only wouldn't be able to deliver to hospitals to have this product, but they would have lost tens of thousands of dollars. And being able to come up with a solution that was very unique to this particular client, working with The factory, as well as our logistics carrier, we're able to get that solution to them and save them a lot of time and lost money.
All right, that's awesome, Melissa. All right, very good. So let's get into our final tip here on how you can minimize the supply chain disruptions on your organization. All right, this is where we're really strong. This is our wheelhouse. So work with a distributor with in-house product expertise. We're 100% power supply focused. So we are the #1 power supply experts in distribution here in North America. Melissa, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so 100% power focus. When you work with the distributor that has no product expertise, they're going to be incapable of providing different solutions. And TRC, we're a specialty partner, right?
Hey, Melissa, before you go, we're claiming to be experts. But we don't just make this claim. Like, how do we train and bring people up to that level of expertise?
Okay, that's a great question. So our clients, the first people that you interact in our organization are our sales team.
Right.
And that sales team, they're actually certified power specialists. So what we do before our sales team starts interacting with clients, they go through a very rigorous training program. And that training program is not just about the processes and the programs that we have, but specifically related to product and technical. And in that rigorous training program, there are a series of assessments and exams and tests that they have to pass in order to get out of the onboarding and start interacting with clients. And that rigorous training doesn't just stop in onboarding.
Right. So before they even get on the phone with a client or face-to-face with a client in their 8 weeks of onboarding, they go through that program and they're certified during that program. And now they are capable of adding value to our clients. And until they get to that point, they're not going to be working with our clients. So we get them to that point, right?
Yeah, we get them to that point, and then the training continues. There's ongoing training. So whether there's industry trends, there's market trends, there's new product, there's consistent training that goes ongoing, both technical as well as product. And we actually have a team member here that wants to share an example of how he was able to impact a client that he recently started working with. Rich, we have you here.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, so recently I was actually able to proactively reach out to a client and discovered a major lead time issue that they were experiencing with their current power supply from Cosell. And up to this point, they usually source this power supply directly from them, and they were receiving unbelievable delays in the product that should have already shipped. They got very little communication on this until the last minute, and the factory pushouts they were looking at for orders up to 2 years worth of lead times. So through asking a lot of questions and fact finding, I was able to learn about what was most important to the client's product and the organization needs. And I actually got them on a solution where we can ship mass production volumes in less than 14 weeks. That's a lot better than 2 years. And that's not even the best part. And on top of that, this will save them over $250,000 on this project.
Wow. So the savings, the cost savings of $250,000 as a result of the product we found a product that is going to be have provided better cost savings, Rich?
Correct. Yeah, cost savings, and also not only match, but also even exceed the capabilities of the previous power supply they had.
That's awesome. So, hey, Rich, how long have you been working with TRC? So Rich is in sales. He joined our organization recently. How long have you been with us now, Rich?
It's been about 3 months.
Yeah, so 3 months. So first month, he's out in the marketplace and he's making a huge impact on organizations. So Rich, awesome job. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and in Rich's example, he talked about that client works directly with the manufacturer. So by working with the manufacturer direct.
Right, yeah, so here's the issue with that particular client. So when they're working, so there's the disadvantage of working direct with the manufacturer. If they don't have an alternative in their brand, they're not going to be showing you any other alternatives. And so you're really going to be stuck. And they're not going to look to help you. So one of the advantages of working with us, TRC Electronics represents 12 of the top power supply brands in the world. So when Rich approaches that situation there, Rich doesn't look at just one unpopular power supply brand. Rich is looking at the 12 brands that we carry that are all winners. And so Rich looked through the different solutions that we had, and he selected one of the 12 brands. And so he had a full menu to choose from, where if you work directly with Cosell, they're not going to provide you any other options other than a Cosell option. And so that client was really in a tough spot, and was fortunate for that client that Rich reached out to them, and the timing was right, and he was able to get on a right solution for him.
Yeah, awesome job, Rich. So there is an example of a salesperson out of onboarding, making an impact and helping our clients succeed. But it doesn't stop at the salespeople, right?
That's right.
We have electrical engineers here
Yeah,
in-house.
so I want to say something about that, because really the foundation of this organization from 40 years ago when it was established till today, the foundation of our organization is built on engineering, because we know our clients are engineers and engineering resource companies and require engineering expertise. And so I'll let you keep going here, but really, so we really pride ourselves on the engineering expertise here. So you can take it a little bit.
Yeah, so our in-house electrical engineers will support clients with coming up with a solution. So when if there's a very complex solution required at the design phase, this is where our sales team and our engineering team, we collaborate together, communicating with the client, and we work as a team to help them find a solution. But these electrical engineers are very well versed in not only the product we sell and the power supplies and the components in them, but also the products that complement the power supplies. So they can also provide solutions. I know Flow Science was on here earlier. You were talking about other products. Please let us know about those components. We want to help you with that. And our electrical engineers will work to find a solution that will complement the power supply you're using in your system. Not only helping you select that power supply, but also troubleshooting. If you have a design, you have an application, there's a problem, and you need that solved, whether it's at your location and we have a field application engineer join you, or it's a design that you want to send to us and we can troubleshoot it here in our lab, our electrical engineers have those resources. And we actually have one of our electrical engineers here that recently helped solve a client's problem out in the field. Mike, are you on?
Thank you, Melissa. Actually, I did. And just recently, we have a client that we were working with, actually supported this client last year on an existing design using one of our solutions. And he recently reached out to us because he had another power supply solution with another system, and that system was using a Cosell unit. And actually we're using two Cosell units on the shelf. Their lead times were over 52 weeks, and Cosell was no longer giving them any more commitments. They weren't able to give them any more answers. So they reached out to us, and it happened to be that I actually had the opportunity to visit this client. And this wasn't just about a cross. It's one thing, we get a request for, hey, can you cross this product? It doesn't stop there. We actually had to get into the system, understand exactly what they were powering, go through all their electrical input specs, as well as temperature, and then their output load. And we took that information, we worked with the team internally, and this week we were able to provide them with a solution that not only met their electrical specs, but we could provide them prototypes next month and provide them visibility for their production needs for the rest of the year. So we presented this to this client. He was ecstatic. I mean, he literally was smiling, beaming from ear to ear because we solved a major, major problem for him.
That's awesome, Mike. Thanks for sharing. Well, we love solving problems here, right?
Absolutely.
So, hey, look, we got about 5 more minutes. If anybody has a question, we really encourage you to type it in the chat. We'd be happy to answer the question. But I'm going to share this promo offer again here. But any questions that we'll sit here all day if you want. We'll answer any questions, but let's just get that promo offer up on the screen here one more time before we wrap this up. And again, Melissa, you want to review this promo offer?
Yeah, this offer, it's exclusively for you that have attended this webinar today. It is 10% off of any new order placed with TRC off your regular price over $10,000. That offer does expire on March 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call us at 888-612-9514. Guys, type that number in the chat so our clients can see that, and use promo code POWER10. And the only thing is to get those that product shipping by the end of this year.
Okay, very good. All right, so if we don't have any questions here at the end, we're going to wrap this up. And we have
Any questions?
we're good to go.
Raise your hand, type
Virtual
away,
hand?
we're here.
Okay, we're good. All right, that's a wrap, guys. Hey, look, we appreciate everybody spending investing your time today. We hope that this added value to you guys, and we look forward to taking advantage of that amazing promo code that we offered today. And we wish you the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.